What happens during the H1B process? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our office right here in St. Louis, Missouri. We get a lot of questions. It's H1B season, and H1B is the work visa that those with specialized occupations can get to work in the United States. It's a temporary non-immigrant visa, and it allows a foreign national to work in the United States. H1Bs are very competitive because there's a lottery, and we're going to get into all that in this video. We want to explain to you how the process works so that you have a good understanding of what has to happen in order for an H1B case to be approved. Remember, the H1B system is designed to protect the American worker, so there are a lot of safeguards, rules, and regulations regarding when a U.S. employer can sponsor a foreign national for an H1B. And we have lots of H1B videos on our website, on our YouTube channel, but we wanted to give you sort of a broad overview to sort of talk about how the whole thing fits together. When an employer contacts us and says that they're interested in sponsoring someone for an H1B, one of the very first things we want to do is define the occupation, define what the role is, the job description, to make sure that it is a specialty occupation. A specialty occupation is one that's sort of set aside for those with college degrees, certainly, sometimes advanced degrees. These are jobs that require a specific degree in a specific field like accounting or law or medicine or computer programming, or more specifically software development. And when the employee has those qualifications, then the employer can sponsor them for an H1B. But you want to get out in front and figure out what's the job title, what's the job description, is it a specialty occupation, and most importantly at that early stage, what's the prevailing wage? Because the employer is going to have to pay the prevailing wage. And the way that we figure out the prevailing wage is we go on a Department of Labor website. They have crunched all the data. They have determined what the average or prevailing wage is for that region. So for instance, let's say we have a software developer in Palo Alto, California. They're going to have to pay, the employer's going to have to pay the prevailing wage, what the average salary is at the different wage levels for that occupation in that geographic location. So as you might imagine, a software developer is going to get paid a lot more in Palo Alto, California. That's the hub of tech, as opposed to Fargo, North Dakota. So the employer would have to pay a smaller prevailing wage in Fargo, North Dakota. So you want to make sure that the employer is comfortable with the government salary, because sometimes that might end the inquiry right there. There's no real reason to proceed if the employer is not willing to pay that prevailing wage. All right, so once you've nailed down the prevailing wage, then you get started. What we do is we send an intake form, a set of forms for our clients to fill out. It's sort of data gathering. We need to get a lot of information about the employer, the employee, and the job position. And then we get to work with the first agency that we deal with, which is the Department of Labor. And we go to this website called the iCert portal, ICERT, and we go on there and we file a labor condition application, an LCA. And the LCA is a form where the Department of Labor will analyze the position and make sure that the employer has complied with the prevailing wage requirements, that they're paying the prevailing wage that they promised to pay. You make a lot of promises and averments to the Department of Labor, and once that is submitted, it takes about 10 days to process. Now, if the employer's never been through the H1B process, their EIN number may not be verified. So if you are an employer going through the H1B process for the very first time, you're going to want to make sure that you start early, because you're going to have to send your EIN number to this verification team at the Department of Labor. Once you get the LCA back, then you're in a position to file. Now, of course, H1Bs are limited every year. There's a 65,000 set aside for those with bachelor's degrees, and another 20,000 set aside with those with advanced degrees. And everyone files these applications on April 1st. So you want to be done with your Department of Labor stuff at least by May 1st, May 10th, or March 1st or March 10th, because you want to make sure that you have enough time to get the rest of the application ready. But once you have that LCA approved, then you're in a good position to start preparing your documents. The employer is going to have to sign an I-129, which is the H-1B form. There are also some supplements for the H-1B. You're going to have to detail the job position, the job description, the benefits, the salary, and you're going to have to show that it's a specialty occupation to the satisfaction of USCIS. Now, in the last few years, we've been seeing USCIS go crazy with what are called requests for evidence, where they're pushing back on everything, and you really want to submit the strongest application possible. You get all those forms ready. The employer is going to have to post a notice that they filed this LCA. That's going to have to be posted for 10 business days, and the employer is going to submit proof of that. They're also going to submit an affidavit regarding how many employees they have in H1B status, and then you're also going to want to include a letter from the employer to USCIS explaining the business need for this foreign worker. And then you're going to want to submit all the evidence of the employee's qualifications. We've been digging in really deep, showing how their education or their work history really makes them the ideal candidate for this position. We send all that off, we package it up, and on that first week of April, all those packages get sent to USCIS, where they are opened, assigned a case number, and then a lottery is conducted. So you could do everything right. You could have the most important job, the most important valuable employee, and you might not get picked in the lottery. And it's just a straight lottery. It's not based on merit. They conduct that lottery in May, and typically in June we start seeing those cases that have been selected get receipt notices, and then a month after that, in July each year, we start getting the rejection notices for those cases that were not selected. It's a long process. It's a complicated process. We hope this overview sort of gives you an understanding of what happens. You know, we've put cases together in as short as 2 weeks, but generally we like to take about 6 or 8 weeks to put our cases together. And we only did that because the clients hired us at the last minute. But you probably want to get started sooner rather than later. We hope you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to leave us a comment below. If you have H1B questions or any kind of employment visa questions, give us a call at 314-961-8200. You can always email us at info@hackinglawpractice.com. And if you like this video, please be sure to share it on social, send it out on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, and then make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and that you join us in our Facebook group, which is called Immigrant Home. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.